If motivation has disappeared from your life, what if it didn't leave? What if it was pushed out? Most people think they need more discipline, more pressure, more self-control. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The harder you push, the quieter motivation gets. And if you've been telling yourself, I just need to try harder, this might explain why that hasn't worked. Motivation doesn't disappear when you're weak. It disappears when you're overwhelmed. Most of us were taught the same story. If you want results, you need discipline. If you feel stuck, you need pressure. If you're not motivated, something must be wrong with you. But that story misses something important. Pressure creates movement, not motivation. And those are not the same thing. Pressure can make you act, but it can't make you care. Think about it. How many times have you done something only because you had to? And the moment the pressure disappeared, so did the motivation. Exactly. Because real motivation doesn't respond to force. It responds to safety. We treat motivation like a switch, something you turn on by pushing harder. But motivation is more like a signal. And signals don't come through when the system is overloaded. When your nervous system feels overwhelmed, it doesn't think, let's create. It thinks, let's survive. And survival mode isn't curious. It isn't creative. It isn't motivated. It's defensive. So if you're waiting to feel motivated while living under constant internal pressure, you're waiting for silence in a room full of alarms. Here's the part most people get wrong. Motivation doesn't start with action. It starts with permission. Permission to move slowly. Permission to start small. Permission to want something without having to prove anything. When pressure leaves, curiosity can finally show up. And curiosity, not discipline, is the real engine of motivation. Think back to a time when you felt naturally motivated. Not because someone was watching, not because you were afraid of failing, but because you were genuinely interested. You didn't need pressure then, you needed space. So instead of asking, how do I push myself to do this? Try asking, what makes this feel heavy right now? Is it the expectations? The timeline? The fear of doing it wrong? Remove just one layer of pressure and notice what happens. Motivation doesn't rush back dramatically. It returns quietly, as a small, honest, maybe I could try. That's how it comes back. Not with fireworks, with relief. Here's another truth no one talks about. You don't lose motivation. You withdraw it. Your system pulls motivation away when it doesn't feel safe to engage. And the fastest way to make it unsafe? Turning everything into a test of your worth. When every task feels like proof, motivation disappears. So here's a rule that changes everything. Do things to explore, not to validate yourself. Exploration is light. Validation is heavy. Exploration sounds like, let me see what happens if I try this. Validation sounds like, this has to work or it means something about me. Your nervous system knows the difference instantly. If you want motivation without pressure, you need goals that invite you in, not corner you. Smaller starts, softer timelines, quiet progress. Yes, that can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're used to pushing yourself. Because pressure feels familiar, even when it hurts. But familiar doesn't mean effective. Here's the paradox. The more you trust yourself to move without force, the more consistent you become. Not because you're trying harder, but because you're no longer fighting yourself. Motivation that lasts is built on trust, not on threat, not on urgency, not on proving your worth. And once that trust exists, motivation stops being something you chase. It becomes something that meets you. So if you're feeling unmotivated right now, don't ask what's wrong with you. Ask what kind of pressure you've been carrying for too long. Remove that, even a little, and watch what quietly comes back. If this shifted how you see motivation, pause for a moment and ask yourself, where in my life have I been pushing when what I actually needed was permission? Write one sentence in the comments. And if you'd like more conversations like this, about growth without burnout, ambition without pressure, you're welcome to subscribe and stay here. This isn't about forcing yourself forward. It's about finally letting yourself move.